Hello, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm gonna continue on the FPGA controller that we designed in the previous video, where I had configured the FPGA board, that is Terasic DE1-SoC board, to function as the VGA controller and display a simple image onto the monitor. So today we are gonna build on the same concept, but instead of just displaying a rectangle, I'm gonna try to display three simple shapes: a circle, triangle, and a square. But for all the three shapes, I will not be providing any fill. It'll just be a border, just like the one I'm showing you over here on the as a sample image. So the shapes will just have border without any fill, and for the border, I'm gonna limit the thickness to 10 pixels and the complete size to around 192 pixels, which roughly represents 2 inches on my respective monitor. The whole structure of the modules remains the same. The only difference will be the image source. The PLL, VGA controller, everything remains the same. We have already configured the PLL to generate 167 megahertz and the VGA controller to generate the VSync, horizontal sync, vertical sync, enable signals, and the pixel signals. So using these signals, the image source will have to generate the respective signals to enable RGB values depending upon the position of the pixel. So to determine whether the targeted pixel is within the dedicated shape, I have three helper functions. Just named it is square border, is circle border, or is triangle border. So these three functions just evaluates whether the targeted pixel is within the border, that is outer border, or uh, within the outer border and beyond the inner border of the three shapes. So for example, for the square, it will check whether the pixel is within the outer border or outside the inner border. And for the circle, it will just use the Euler's formula to check whether the pixel is within two radius, the outer radius and the inner radius. So based on that, it will evaluate the is within the border or outside the border. The same thing goes for the triangle, where it will evaluate whether the pixels are within the edges of the triangle. So it will generate the edge values and check whether the pixel is within the edge. Using these helper functions, the process begins by checking whether the pixel is within any of these shapes. If it is within the shapes, it will update the red signal as 1 and rest as 0, because I want the shapes to have red color. If it is outside these shapes, basically the background will have green color. And then for the blanking time, I'm giving no color. So this is the image generation module. So based on this module, our VGA controller will be able to generate the respective image or render the respective image onto the monitor. Let's go ahead and program our device. Let's change the SOF file, which is the bitstream for the configuration of our device. And let's start the configuration. Once the configuration has been completed, you can see here the display shows three shapes being rendered, that is circle, triangle, and square, with size almost close to 2 inches on my monitor, where the shapes do not have any fill data, but it just has the border colors. So yeah, that is how I've configured the FPGA board using the previous VGA controller that I designed. If you want, you can go and visit that video where I talk about how the PLL works, what are the different signals that we need to generate, how those signals control which pixel is being targeted, which line of pixels. Once it reaches the end of the line, how it traverses back, what are the signals that make sure it traverses back to the starting point of the next line, and once all the vertical lines have been evaluated, what signal is sent so that it can go to the next frame, and how are the RGB values for the individual pixels are created. So yeah. So that video will help you understand what I just spoke here. In this video, it was just about how I implemented the circuit or just the display, where the previous video also had information regarding the actual VGA controller. So yeah, go check the video out. You will get a better understanding. So yeah, so that's the full project where I displayed basic shapes: circle, triangle, and a square using the VGA controller. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.